History remembers heroes, the monster slayers, the kings, the conquerors, the men whose names echoed through history. But every now and then, if you look closely, you'll find a woman standing quietly in the shadows, a woman whose courage made the hero possible, yet whose own story was almost forgotten. Today, we're telling the story of Ariadne, the princess who defeated the Labyrinth without ever lifting a sword. The woman who saved the famous hero Theseus, only to be abandoned when she was no longer needed. Because perhaps the greatest monsters are not always the ones hiding in the labyrinths. Sometimes they're the people we choose to trust. Long before Ariadne's name faded into myth, she lived in the palace of King Minos on the island of Crete. From the outside, it looked like paradise. Marble halls, golden temples, lavish banquets, servants waiting on every command. But behind those magnificent walls lived a terrible secret. Deep beneath the palace, hidden underground, was the labyrinth. A maze so vast, so impossibly complex, that nobody who entered ever returned. Inside waited the Minotaur, half man, half bull, a creature born from divine punishment and human pride. To keep the monster fed, Athens was forced to send 14 young people every few years. 7 boys, 7 girls. Each one sacrificed, each one disappearing forever. Imagine living in a place where you knew innocent people were being marched to their deaths, again and again and again. Ariadne knew, and every sacrifice weighed heavily upon her heart. One day, a new group arrived. Among them stood a young prince. His name was Theseus. Unlike the others, he wasn't trembling. He hadn't come to survive. He had come to kill the Minotaur. Stories often tell us that Ariadne instantly fell in love. Well, perhaps she did. Or perhaps she saw something different. Someone finally willing to end generations of suffering. Someone brave enough to challenge what everyone else accepted. Whatever the reason, she made a decision that would change history. Without Ariadne, there would be no hero. She secretly met Theseus before he entered the labyrinth. She handed him 2 things: a sword and something far more important, a simple ball of thread. She said, "Fasten one end to the entrance," she told him, "as you walk deeper into the maze and wind the thread behind you." It sounds almost too simple, yet that single idea changed everything. The sword could kill the monster, but only the thread could lead him home. Sometimes intelligence achieves what strength never can. While history celebrates the man holding the sword, it often forgets the woman who showed him the way. Imagine the silence, dark stone corridors, endless twists, cold air. The sound of footsteps echoing into nothingness. Every turn looked the same. Every corner invited death. Somewhere ahead, the Minotaur waited. Finally, the beast appeared. Powerful, terrifying, a living nightmare. The battle was fierce, but eventually, Theseus drove the sword into the monster. The creature fell. The curse was broken. But victory wasn't enough. Without Ariadne's thread, he would still have died inside that maze. He followed the thread back through every winding corridor until daylight finally greeted him once again. History crowned him a hero, yet heroes are rarely made alone. The pair fled Crete together. King Minos would never forgive such betrayal. Their ship sailed into the open sea. For the first time, freedom seemed possible. Perhaps Ariadne imagined a new life, a family, peace, a future besides the man she'd risked everything to save. She had sacrificed her father, her home, her kingdom, everything she'd ever known. She believed it was worth it. Many of us know that feeling, believing someone would treasure the sacrifices we've made for them, believing love guarantees loyalty, believing kindness will always be returned. But life doesn't always work that way. Eventually, they arrived on the island of Naxos. That night, Ariadne fell asleep. When she awoke, the ship was gone. Theseus had sailed away, leaving her completely alone. No explanation, no goodbye, no final embrace, just silence. Some ancient writers claimed the gods ordered him to leave. Others believed he abandoned her willingly. Thousands of years later, nobody truly knows. But Ariadne remained behind, watching the horizon, wondering why the man she saved had disappeared. Imagine the heartbreak, the confusion, the questions that never receive answers. Sometimes closure never comes. Most stories stop there, as though Ariadne's life ended the moment Theseus sailed away. But that isn't the end. It's only the beginning. According to many versions of the myth, the god Dionysus discovered Ariadne on the island, not as someone broken, but as someone worthy. He saw strength where others saw abandonment. He offered her love, respect, and, eventually, immortality. Some legends even say her golden wedding crown became the constellation Corona Borealis, forever shining in the night sky. Think about that for a moment. The woman history remembered as abandoned was later remembered by the heavens themselves. Sometimes the ending we fear becomes the doorway to a life we never imagined. Perhaps Ariadne's greatest gift wasn't the thread. Perhaps it was a reminder that wisdom often goes unnoticed. that kindness is sometimes exploited, that the people we rescue may not stay. But their choices never define our worth. Many of us have played the role of Ariadne. We've guided others through the darkness, helped them find their confidence, and supported them through impossible moments, only to discover they no longer needed us once they reached the other side. That pain, it's real. But it is not the end of the story, because your value was never dependent on who stayed. It was always found in who you were. History remembers Theseus, but perhaps it should also remember the woman who made his victory possible. The princess who solved the impossible. The strategist behind the legend. The forgotten hero holding nothing more than a sword and a single thread. Maybe Ariadne's story was never really about abandonment. Maybe it was about discovering that sometimes the people who leave us create a space for the life we were always meant to live. So the next time someone remembers the hero who escaped the labyrinth, remember the woman who showed him the way. Because sometimes the strongest people in history are the ones whose names were almost forgotten. If you enjoyed the retelling of this Greek mythology, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to God's Rewritten. And let me know in the comments which forgotten figure from mythology should we rewrite next. Until next time, remember that every myth has another side, and every legend deserves to be questioned. Until next time, take care.